50% means half of a number. So if this whole entire box represents 46, we want to find half of that. Half of 40 is 20. Half of 6 is 3. So 23. So this half would be 23, this half would be 23, and then altogether that would be the 46. All right, so if we have 50% of 82, half of 80 is 40, half of 2 is 1, so that would be 41. So this half, or that 50%, is 41. All right, I'll let you do those. 25% means half of half. So we could start by finding half, or 50% of 48. That means this whole chunk here would be 24. Then we need to find half of that. Half of 24 is 12. And if you want to check, you can fill every single box with 12. They're all going to be the same size. 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 is equal to 48. All right, so for 80, if we want to find 25% of that, we would first find half. And half of that is 40. And then we're going to find half of that. Half of 40 is 20. And then again, if you want to check, you could fill them all with the same thing. 20, 40, 60, 80, and that equals our total. All right, let's first find half of this one. So half of 14 is 7. Half of 7, ooh, that's tricky. Okay, 7 is the same as 6 plus 1 more. Half of 6 is 3. Half of 1 is a half. So it's 3 1/2. I'm going to write that like this. 3.5 or 3 1/2. All right, you're going to do the rest of the 25%. On the bottom, it says 75% means 50% plus 25%. So we could find 50% or half. Okay, so half of 48 would be 24. So this whole chunk is 24. Then half of that would be 12. So this piece is 12. These are also 12, and 12 plus 12 equals that 24. So we can either do 12 plus 12 plus 12, or we can do 24 plus 12, because that's the 50% plus 25% more, so that would be 36. All right, so if we're finding 75% here, let's first find 50%. 50% means half, so half of 80 is 40. This time I'm just going to fill it in like that. And then we have to find another half of that, which is 20. So 40 plus 20 is 60. All right, on the next page, 10% means 1/10. That means we could take this number and divide it by 10. Because like we have this whole thing and we're going to share it with 10 people. So each person would get 2. Because 20 divided by 10 is 2. All right, 10% of 80 means we need to break up the 80 into 10 equal parts. So divide it by 10. That would give us 8. All right, if we take this one and divide it by 10, we get 40. And a shortcut is when you're dividing by 10, what you can really do is actually get rid of one of the zeros. So that turns into 40. Okay, so you're going to do that same thing for these. All right, then when we get down here, we're going to find other percents that are multiples of 10%. So what I would do is I would figure out what 10% is first. So take your whole number, divide it by 10. So 10% would be 2. That means this box here is 2. 10% plus another 10% would give us 20%, and they're going to be the same exact thing. They have to be equal. So 2 plus 2 is 4. All right, So if we're trying to find 30%, let's start by finding 10%. So we're going to take 80, divide it by 10. That's 8. And 30% means we have 10, 20, 30%, or 3 boxes. So we're going to do 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 8 times 3, which is 24. For 40%, we're going to first find 10%. So we'll take this and we'll divide it by 10. 400 divided by 10 is 40. And we have 40 4 times. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. So we have to add up all of this, or we can do 40 times 4. I'm going to actually combine it like this. I'm going to get 80 and 80, and then do 80 plus 80. 8 plus 8 is 16 with the 0 at the end, 160.